Now you hear me real good. I have found the secret. I really have. It's a hard one, but necessary. When I began in the ministry, I read a book that was given to me by a lady named Maudie Phillips, and the book scared the lights out of me. The book dealt with every preacher who did not make it. Because the lady said, before you start preaching, read this book. It was written by a man from Chicago who was not a Christian. This man worked for the Chicago Tribune, the newspaper. And in the book, he went through the history of every healing evangelist in America by name. And the way they finished scared me to death. The only two that he spoke well of are Oral Roberts and Catherine Kuhlman. And Catherine was still going. And then I said to myself, who do I think I am that I think I can make it when all those people did not? And I went to God. Oh, dear God, I prayed so hard. My wife's daddy lost his church. He lost the biggest church because he slept with a woman. My father-in-law, Roy Harden, had the biggest church in America and had sex with a woman and lost his ministry. So the days of Swaggart, you remember when all that mess was going on with Jimmy Swaggart and Jim Bakker and the horrible stuff on the news every night? I'm sitting in my bed reading a book. And Suzanne is very witty. My wife is very smart. I'm reading a book, and we knew, Suzanne and I knew, that the healing ministry that I was about to get into is about to explode. I was a pastor in Orlando. I began a church. The church went from 0 to 10,000 people in 2 years, Pastor. We grew from 0 to 10,000 in 2 years. And God was blessing our life. And then I decided I wanted to do crusades, big crusades in America. And the Lord was speaking to me very clearly about holding healing crusades in the land. And I'm sitting reading this book, another book. And Suzanne and I were, we love to read books at night, Christian books. I have never read a secular book in all my life. I have never read one book that was not Christian-based or a Christian book. So I'm sitting reading this book by Andrew Murray. And Suzanne was reading one by Jean Guyon, the old mystic out of France. Very powerful lady. And Suzanne looks at me, she says, "Are you sure you want to do this for God?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Benny, before you start these crusades, are you sure you can last?" And then she said, "My father did it. Jimmy Swaggart did it. And Jim Bakker did it. Will you do it?" I tried to act like I did not understand the question. We husbands want to just brush it away like, "Don't talk to me about this, lady." Oh, Suzanne. She said, "Benny, if you fall into sin, you'll destroy me and the children." That's what she said. "I am not ready to pay the price." She said, "You want to go and save the world. That's your business. That's my wife talking. She's very raw and real. You know, those PKs, brother, they're really real. Those PKs, they don't play games. She said, Benny, before you go holding big crusades around the world, you better think, what if you sin? She said, you sin, we're all ruined. She said, you'll destroy me, you'll destroy the children, you'll destroy our future. Are you sure you can make it? Boy, that was a tough one. That was 1990, February of 1990, exactly 1 month before we began the crusades. And you were with me, Jim, in Phoenix, Arizona. So were you, Steve-O. Next one. I remember that. Man, that scared me when she said, can you? And then I went to the Lord. I said, Lord, before I begin, I need an answer. And I was very blunt. I said, how do I know I will make it? And then I said, in prayer, I said, if Jimmy Swaggart didn't make it, what guarantee do you give me I'll make it? So I said that to God in prayer. You know, behind closed walls, we're very raw, you know. I said, Lord, if Jim Baker didn't make it, what guarantee do you give me I will? And if Roy didn't make it, what guarantee do I have I will? And the Holy Spirit spoke to me that night clearly. I heard his voice, and he said, 2